3, 2, 1, starting stream. Girls, you are live, you are live.
Welcome to the second exciting dive of today. And it's not just me alone down here, you have 3 ladies diving today. I am Lauren from Scotland, we have Emil the Hungarian on the camera, and of course Aussie Pat on the surface. But let me introduce you, this is Lauren, another Lauren, all the way from Bonnie, England, and she is a diving instructor at Dawn Foster's. We also have Elise, all the way from Bonnie, Canada, who is also a keen and passionate diver around Grand Cayman. So the 3 of us here are going to take you on another dive, all in honour of Paddy's global celebration of Women's Dive Day around the world. So we're going to dive this beautiful site called Hidden Pillars. Now this site is really famous because it has pillar coral, and never have we showed you pillar coral on diveLIVE, so it's a perfect day for that. And we also have what we believe is another species of new fish. So while Pat is saying hello, let's get looking at this new fish.
Yes, welcome everybody and happy Paddy's Women's Dive Day. So we do have, we believe, a pygmy filefish, if we can find it again. We did see it before the broadcast, and this is a species that we have not yet seen on diveLIVE.
Yes, so it's either the pygmy or the slender filefish. Paddy has got the Pat has got the identification book up there, but it seems to be hiding. Typical, it was just there as we were about to go live. Where are you, little filefish? It's very small, that's probably one of the reasons that it's good at hiding. Can you see anything, Pat?
No, I cannot, unfortunately. Maybe if we stake it out a little bit, we might be able to get a glimpse of it. But don't forget, if you do have any questions whatsoever, please send them in. We want you to use the hashtag diveLIVE if you are on Twitter, and on Facebook and YouTube. We will see it anyway.
How frustrating. It was definitely a beautiful little filefish. Never mind, up ahead of us right now we have a glorious and very big colony of pillar coral. So that's my new symbol for pillar coral. And this is one of the only places in the Grand Cayman where you can actually see this. So it is wonderful, very healthy, and all the polyps' tentacles are extended. So this is probably taller than me, and it's called pillar coral, well, because it looks like pillars. It's a digitic coral, and all that means is sort of resembling fingers or a bunch of cigars, if you like. And they don't have any secondary branching, so you can see it's all just pillars. It's not like Acropora, which we regularly show you, which has lots of branches coming off the pillar coral. Isn't it beautiful, Pat?
Yeah, this is magnificent. I knew that it was going to be big, but I didn't realise we were going to get one of this size. And it's awesome as well that we can see it's got all of its polyps extended, giving it that really furry, fuzzy texture.
Yeah, so just a brief recap on coral. This whole structure that you are seeing is an animal. Well, it's a lot of animals all together to make these colonies of pillar coral. So it's little polyps, which are really small and simple organisms in the grouping Cnidaria, which is exactly the same as jellyfish and sea anemones. And they come together to form colonies to make this absolutely glorious pillar coral. Now this is the main reason we came here, to show you this, and it's just as beautiful as I really hoped it would be. So what we mean by the tentacles, well, it looks really hairy and really fluffy. And this is just the polyps tentacles that have came out. Normally they're inside and they're feeding. So they're sticky tentacles that are trying to capture little bits of plankton that are floating about in the water column.
Yeah, we're getting some really great views of them as well. This zoom is really helping us with these sorts of things to show the real intricate tiny details that really make these animals what they are. And we can really see in between the tentacles there, that mouth that they will use to swallow, and that just goes into a very primitive and simple digestive cavity.
Yeah, so they're obviously feeding by their tentacles just now, but in general, corals have 2 different methods of feeding, so it's incredible. They can feed 24 hours if they like. All hard corals actually contain a small piece of algae in their tissue, which is a symbiotic relationship. So the algae that is living inside of them will use the direct sunlight and make food for the coral. So this can obviously only happen during the day when the sun is out. So the corals are very lazy. They get all their food made for them during the day. They don't have to do anything. But at night time, they can feed normally by using these tentacles. So the tentacles are obviously extended just now, so there must be a lot of plankton in the water, which I can definitely see that there is. And they're obviously making the most of that and capturing just a little bit of plankton. We have another colony here and another colony here. Let's have a little look, because inside of these really large colonies, there's a lot of life. So let's just quickly check them out, and you never know what we will see inside. Lauren and Elise are already on it with their eagle eyes to see what we can find.
What beautiful corals these ones are. And we have a question here from CJ asking, do the tentacles ever capture small fish?
Actually, yes, they do. There's lots of, now that the methods of photography are much better, there's many photographs of separate polyps with their own separate tentacles fighting over a small fish. So they've obviously both captured it, and they're literally at war to try and eat it. Now we're talking a very, very, very small fish, not many of the larger ones that you see here, but yes, they do, and shrimps. I'm just mesmerized. I mean, this is so healthy, so beautiful, and it's just so nice to see a colony of pillar coral, which we really, really haven't seen here. Pillar coral is native to the Western Atlantic and the Caribbean, so it's just wonderful to see this here. I'm just having a little look inside because there's a lot. Oh wow, let's see if we can get this. Okay, Emil, inside there is what I think is either a soldier fish or a big eye. We're going to get Pat to ID it, and it has a huge isopod on its head. Let's see if we can get a close-up of the fish and the isopod. Let us know when you can see it, Pat.
Yeah, so I can't see it just yet.
It is hiding inside, but I'm just moving away. It's just down a little bit, Emil. If you come here, you can get a perfect view of it. It's the red one. It's either a big eye or a soldier fish. It has a forked tail and a big, huge isopod on its head.
Just while we're looking for it, Proud Cat Mama wants to know, are these pillar corals endangered?
Yes, all corals are, actually. All species of coral are endangered for so many different reasons, but pillar corals, particularly in the Grand Cayman, I was reading that many years ago there was so many colonies like what we're seeing of pillar coral, and they have all been destroyed. So this is one of the few places here that you're able to see them. Now, have you got a view of that fish yet?
Yeah, so we can see that now, and we can see that that's a massive isopod, which is a crustacean sitting there on its head. As for the identification, it is a bit tricky at this angle, but I will do my best.
Yes, it's definitely big-eyed soldier-fish in that region. It's very red. These animals are very shy. They're quite similar and closely related to the squirrelfish, but squirrelfish seem very confident. They're always up for a little dance on the camera, but these ones are not. They have big, huge nocturnal eyes. So during the day they are often hiding in coral colonies like the one that we can see. And this isopod on its head is known to be parasitic. So what it does is it latches onto the fish, and there are different species of isopods, but it is said to utilise the fish's blood supply. Some isopods will latch onto the gills of a fish, and there is a particular species which is not so nice, and it will latch onto the fish's tongue, eat the tongue, and then actually replace the tongue in the mouth, which is pretty horrible to think about, and eventually the fish cannot feed properly and it will die. So I just hope you're getting a great look at that.
Yeah, so we did get a good view from the top. I can't confidently identify it, but just from the structure of its rear dorsal fin, I think it may be a black bar soldier fish.
Okay,
it is.
A black bar, yep.
So yeah, that's definitely a black bar soldier fish.
Oh wow, well we have had that one before, but just once, so I think this is the second sighting of that. But it's a lovely little fish, and it is very shy, and it's just sad to see that fish with an isopod stuck on its head.
So Lauren, we have a question here from your beautiful mama Elaine. She wants to know, what does symbiotic actually mean?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mum. Symbiosis appears in nature all over, not just the ocean, on land as well. And it's describing a relationship between two different, almost completely unrelated animals. So on land, an example would be the Nile crocodile and the little plover bird that jumps into the crocodile's mouth to clean the teeth like a dentist. So the bird, it's a win-win situation for the bird because the crocodile's not eating it, so it's safe, and it's getting a free meal inside the crocodile's teeth with all the bits of food and everything that is stuck there. And for the crocodile, he doesn't really care about the bird. All he knows that he's getting a nice dentist treatment. Maybe that's where the statement "never smile at a crocodile" comes from, because they always have pearly whites. So that's just an example of a sort of above ocean symbiotic relationship. So it's just the same under the water. So the coral and algae example, it benefits the coral to host the algae inside of it because it gets food. And it benefits the algae because it's getting a safe and warm environment to live in without having to fear of being eaten. So these are examples of mutual symbiosis. There is lots of different types where one may benefit more than the other, and there is also examples of parasitism, which actually you just saw with that isopod stuck on that poor fish's head. So it's relationships in nature. I hope that answered your question, Mum.
Yeah, you did a great job. I'm sure she'll be very proud of you. Her girl.
So we are just, it seems to be a sort of site where the reef is in a circle. So we've gone a little bit deeper. We're currently at 9.2 meters. I've got my eagle eye girls on the lookout, and we're just going to see what else we can see other than the colonies of pillar coral.
And Hank is asking about corals, wondering what mechanisms do they have to protect themselves?
Corals?
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting. I was kind of looking that up the other day, and there's actually probably far too many to mention here, but they do have the tentacles which do contain stinging cells. So to us, it probably wouldn't injure us that much because we're much larger than the size of an individual polyp. But because they are in the same family as jellyfish, those tentacles can deliver a little bit of a sting. Now, I guess they are completely encased in this calcium carbonate skeleton, which is what you can see. So when you're looking at a coral, you're not actually looking at the animals. The animals are buried inside of a calcium carbonate skeleton. So I guess that's a great way of protecting yourself, putting the skeleton on the outside. But corals are in constant competition with one another. the reef might look pretty majestic and beautiful, but it's a war zone down here. It's a constant competition for space, light and food. So a lot of corals have chemical defenses, and some corals can actually regurgitate the contents of their stomach onto a neighbouring coral to try and kill it with the digestive acids in their stomach. That's how competitive they really are. They also compete with algae and sponges. So there's chemical, there's mechanical, there's so many different levels of defense that corals have.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. That is hundreds of millions of years of evolution at work right there. So we actually have a really good and interesting question here from James, and I can take a guess at it, but I don't think I could answer it accurately. It's what is it about this part of the Caymans that makes it good for the pillar corals to grow?
I don't actually know. This is a brand new site for me. I just realised that we've got lots of black bars in front of us and they're so easy to see now. Anyway, Pat, do you know the answer?
No, as I said, I don't know the answer specifically, but I could take a bit of a guess. This does look like a pretty clear water site. And I think it's also the structure. So there is a lot of rising kind of pillar structures here, which would make it ideal for the corals to grow on. And it's clear, warm water as well. But why they are not in other places, I really do not know.
Yeah, I don't know. We obviously we're down here with experienced instructors such as Lauren herself, and she has taken us here for one of the reasons that we can see the pillar coral. But I don't know why this region has a lot of it and other areas around the Grand Cayman do not. Apparently there used to be a lot and they have all been destroyed, as well as the elkhorn coral. So they don't have that anymore here as well. So this site must have been sheltered or protected, I guess, from whatever else was destroying the rest of the corals. So we're not that deep, literally at 12 metres now, and we're at that area where the sort of edge of the reef hits the sandy patch. So I'm just keeping my eye out on the blue, which is always a good thing to do. You never know what's going to swim by. But every time I'll just look out, see what's in the blue, and come back to look at the reef. So it is a very shallow site, so that could contribute to the fact that it does have these corals here.
Yes, and because it is a shallower site, that means that Lauren will be able to spend a little bit more time down in the bottom with you guys as well.
Hopefully, if I don't talk too much. Talking underwater is just a crazy experience, one that I never really imagined myself being able to do, and it did take a lot of practice to get to this stage. There was some highs and there was some lows, wasn't there, Pat?
Oh, very much so.
But we got here and it's great. I've accomplished it, but it does tend for me to go through my ear a little bit quicker if I'm talking too much.
So it looks like we've got a lot of little reef fish here. I can see a juvenile blue tang that's actually yellow right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm just looking at. There's a huge plethora of fish here. I'm trying to think what one I can get you to identify. We will go shallow by the end of the dive. We're going to try and find some interesting things that we know are up there. And it would be great to see that pygmy filefish again.
Yeah, hopefully it decides to come out again. So everyone would be familiar with the blue tangs that we see, and that little yellow fish is actually a juvenile blue tang. So they do have a yellow colour form, but we can see it's starting to develop a little bit of blue around the edge of its pectoral and dorsal fins there. And it also doesn't have its spine at its tail yet.
Yeah, it's a teeny tiny little baby.
They're very cute.
And it is a perfect example of polychromatism, where fish do go through different colour changes, so they're polychromatic. I mean, that is the blue tang that we talk about a lot, which is obviously blue. But this fish, because it's a juvenile, it's literally only about this size. It's bright yellow, but yet it still is the blue tang. It's just in a different colour phase. And that is just one of the weird and wonderful things about fish. Some fish actually even change body shape and body design as they go through the different stages of their life.
Yeah, it is fascinating, all these metamorphoses that fish undergo.
It's not an easy word to say.
And Marcy, that brown spotted fish that you were referring to, that was a juvenile parrotfish that we saw earlier. Just to clarify that for you.
Yes, I'm still looking for some species, don't worry. I'm desperate to get this fish list a little bit longer.
But we do have some grunts in front of us now, a good sized school of them.
Are they the French one or the blue striped one?
Let me just get the identification guide out. I am pretty bad with my grunts, I must admit, but I will double check this one for you.
Yes.
Now they are called grunts because they have what are called pharyngeal teeth, and what these do is kind of vibrate together in a way and make a bit of a grunting sound when they are bored out of water.
A lot of the grunts look really similar as well, which is why I'm never too sure exactly which species it is.
Just trying to distinguish which one it could be.
I'm pretty sure it's either the blue striped or the French.
Yeah, it looks like it's the French grunt.
Oh, there's a big squid that's hanging upside down. Can you see that, Emil? It's huge. It's just, oh no, there's two or three.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, okay, there's a lot of them. My bad. And they're just hanging at a really weird position at 9 meters depth.
This is very strange behaviour, and we can see that they've got three dark bars illuminated down their body there.
Yeah. Can you just maybe check the ID book? Because these ones are much bigger than the normal Caribbean reef squid that we do see at.
Yeah, right. How big do you think they are?
Ooh, I would say around the 25 to 30 centimetre mark.
Wow.
Yeah, they look really big and they're just literally hanging upside down. They very possibly could be Caribbean reef squid. Maybe it's just the coloration.
So that is 10 to 12 inches as well for our American friends.
Yes,
now,
thank you for that.
no, yeah, so from the identification guide, it looks like this is still the Caribbean reef squid.
Oh, good. I just wanted to check. It was probably those bars that were throwing me off.
But they would be full grown, so their maximum size is about 30 centimetres or 12 inches, so these would be full grown.
Oh, well, there's three of them here, and they're very, very shallow. And these squid reach sexual maturity at around 6 months. So that's not when they become fully grown, but when they're able to reproduce. And they have different habitats for different stages of their lives. So they're actually sort of, you're able to determine an approximate age just from where you see them. So the fact that they're here doing a lot of colour changes, this is glorious. You can probably guess that they are adults and there are mates that get ready to mate. So squid communicate entirely through colour change. They will colour change when they're afraid and warning each other of a predator. They will have a colour change for, hey, I'm male, hey, I'm female. And they will have colour changes for their readiness to mate. So I do believe that's what's going on in front of us right now. I'm not sure why they're quite upside down though.
Now, it is unfortunate for the females because after they actually have successfully mated and reproduced, they will pass away. So they have a very short lifespan. Most squid and actually most cephalopods tend to live no longer than a year, maybe sometimes 2 years maximum.
Yeah, octopus live a little bit longer than that, but these guys have a very, very short life cycle. And it's called semilparous. And this just means that the female and the male die shortly after reproduction. So the female will have one mate who she accepts a spermatophore from. The female can mate with a few females, but eventually will pass away. And the female just gives everything to her eggs. She guards her eggs so religiously and does not leave them. She aerates them, she plucks away any maybe dead eggs or damaged eggs, and she literally starves herself to death. Almost, she does not eat. So she becomes very weak. And once the eggs hatch, her body begins like a cellular suicide. And it starts in the optic glands of the eyes, and it sort of radiates out throughout her body. So she does become weak and she is starved of food. But that really isn't what kills her. It's the sort of cellular suicide that starts. So it's a very, very short life, and reproduction, if you like, is their sole purpose. They also have the largest eye-to-body ratio in the whole animal kingdom. I believe it's huge in comparison to their body size. And these guys that you're looking at don't actually see in colour. There's a lot of studies being done on this right now, but they do see in black and white. And they believe that that is why they are able to change their colour so quickly and so accurately.
Yeah, it really is fascinating, all the mechanisms working with squid, and they are quite intelligent animals as well. They have similar brain structure to ours in that they have two hemispheres of their brain, which it makes me really wonder if they could live a longer lifespan, how intelligent they would really get.
I know, and just the same as octopus, which we're desperate to see here. I've just been pointed out something, so we will go over there in a minute. Yeah, just like octopus, they have blue blood. So our blood is obviously red, and this is because their blood is composed with copper and not iron. So this is really useful for squid and octopus because it helps them thrive and survive in cold, sort of really low temperature environment. So their blood is very, very different from us, and they do have 3 hearts, just like octopus. There will be small little hearts near the gills, which sort of take in and all the oxygen and pump the blood full of fresh oxygen. And then there's a larger heart, which takes all this enriched blood and pumps it around the body. So they're very unusual and fascinating animals.
They really are mysterious creatures, and from the thing that fascinates me the most is that they evolved from mollusks, which are your gastropods and your bivalves, so your snails and your clams, which that just really baffles me.
Yeah, and squid used to have an external shell thousands and thousands of years ago, and they've actually lost that through evolution, and they only have a small internal mantle bone. So they've lost that, and it enables them to go to great depth without imploding. So through evolution, squids have changed quite a bit.
And we can actually see the remnants of these shells that they had in the species, the nautilus. So the nautilus is a very ancient species, but is still found today alive. It is extant, and it is actually a shelled organism that looks like pretty much a squid's tentacles poking of a curled shell.
And this sort of bulbous head area that you can see is called the mantle, and inside of it, it contains all their organs, such as their reproductive organs, their digestive organs, their ink sac, pen, all sorts of things is all contained in this bulbous like head. And they do have these short arms, but 2 are much longer. They're sort of club-like tentacles that do reach out to grab the prey. They are voracious predators, and they do eat a lot. Normally between 50 to 60% of their body weight per day they eat.
Wow. I don't think I could eat that much.
It's coming really close to us now.
Yeah, and we can see how in sync they all are with their movements, almost in a perfect line, like a choreographed dance almost. They really are such mysterious and fascinating creatures.
I believe we have a more... Oh, Stingray! Oh, it's way over there. I'm not sure we're gonna...
We can see it, we've got the visuals on it.
Oh, okay, we're on our way on the journey towards the Stingray.
So we can see this southern stingray cruising along the sand now. And it looks, I honestly can't tell, but it looks to me like it's a bit of a bigger one. Is it, Lauren, or about normal size?
I am en route. This, yeah, is a southern stingray. It looks like a female from this angle, but I'll double check. And it's a fully grown adult, I believe. It's quite big.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I can confirm it is a female because there is an absence of claspers.
Yep, I can definitely confirm it's female. There is no claspers hanging down at the back. It's probably, I would say it's well over a metre from sort of the snout, the rostrum to the tail. Maybe 1.2, which is quite large for the southern stingray. And they are part of the whiptail groupings of stingray. And you can see that by the shape of their tail. They have sort of like a whip at the back, just close to that barb. Look at it go, it's definitely feeding. Oh, and we have a barjack coming.
Yeah, you couldn't see a stingray without a barjack, could you?
Yeah, it's really unusual to see one of these guys without a barjack. So stingrays are common around here. Very common for Grand Cayman, and it is mainly the southern stingray. So these guys are cartilaginous fish, the same as sharks. So their skeletons are made from cartilage, which gives them so many benefits, and they're able to sort of flap their wings, if you like. Look at it go. It's really hard for us to keep up with this stingray. It's moving a lot faster than it probably looks, and it's just from the propulsion of those flattened wings, if you like. And it's hovering very close to the bottom because that's how it feeds. Its mouth is on the underside, and it's looking for all its delicious prey that could be hiding on the sandy bottom. It's not using its sense of smell or its eyes. It's using an additional incredible sense, almost like a sixth sense, that they share with sharks, called the ampullae of Lorenzini. And it's a sensory organ that's made up of a network of jelly-filled pores that sense electrical impulses and signals in the water around them. So what that means is when they're hovering over the sand, they're basically trying to sense for little heartbeats and little movements of animals that are on the sand underneath them.
So we have Michelle and Hank both asking, how big can the southern stingray get?
The maximum recorded size is 1.5 meters, so 150 centimeters, which is... Pat will convert for me.
Did you say 170 centimetres?
50.
150 centimetres, yeah, so that's about 5 feet.
Yeah, so that's the maximum. But generally around the 1 metre mark, 3 foot mark is what we tend to find these stingrays. And the female is always larger than the males. She is much bigger, so that was a female that we just saw. But the females are always bigger than the males when it comes to stingrays.
So, oh, sorry.
No, on you go.
Oh, Margaret just wanted an air check, being a good dive bud.
So, there we go. I can confirm I'm on 100 bar, so I've still got plenty of time. And I do believe we have a Moray eel up here, and I heard, well, didn't hear, I saw that it's very small. So I haven't seen it yet. One of my beautiful girls spotted it, so we're just going to go over and see if they still have it in sight.
We always love a good eel sighting, and I'm not going to take a guess this time. Earlier on today we had another dive and I thought it would definitely be a green moray, but it was definitely not a green moray. It was a spotted eel. So
Emil, if you can just go in the direction of Lauren, she's going to show you where the eel is.
So eels, although they may not look like it, are still classified as fish. So they are related to fish, but just have very different bodies and very different techniques of living.
Okay, let me just have a look. It's somewhere around here, Emil. So while we're having a look, Pat, is there any questions we can answer?
Yeah, sure. I'll have a look here. So we have one from Mars asking, are the barjacks territorial about the stingray they follow? So I'm assuming that means that do they pick one stingray and stick to it?
Yeah, are they loyal? I'm really not sure actually. I don't believe so. But we did have an excellent stingray sighting the other day, and I was thinking that, does it sort of pick one stingray and stick to it if you like? But honestly, I can't answer that one confidently. What about you, Pat?
Well, I've got some anecdotal evidence. There's been a couple of times when we've had multiple stingrays in the one spot that I have seen the barjack move between stingrays. So this, again, isn't based on scientific evidence, just on my observations. But, oh, looks like we've got another spotted moray.
Oh, is it a spotted one?
I believe this is a white spotted one, actually.
I haven't got a visual on it yet.
So we can only see the body at the moment. Oh no, it's got its mouth moving there. Yeah, so this is a white spotted moray eel.
Oh, the squid are still hanging around as well.
That's good.
Where is this moray?
So there we go.
Tiny.
Oh, so how big would you say this one is?
Oh, I can't see. It's really in the hole, but it is such a juvenile. So what did you say that was? The white spotted?
Yes, the white spotted moray.
So that's a different species, right?
It is. This is a new species of eel. Two in one day. How lucky are you, Lauren?
Fantastic. So this is definitely a juvenile. I don't know who found it. It was either Lauren or Elise, but great job on them. Because it is, of course, hiding out in the cracks and the crevices there. Now, we were talking about squid, which are actually right beside us, being relying on their eyes and camouflage. Well, when it comes to eels, they rely extremely heavily on their sense of smell. So different animals in the ocean sort of use their different senses in order to navigate and survive in this environment. So eels are really olfactory predators. So I'm not sure if you're able to see, but they do have quite obvious extended nostrils. Are you able to see that on this one, Pat?
Well, it's just being hidden by the rock coral. We can see most of its head, just the nostrils are the only bits we can't see.
Okay, well they do have quite obvious protruding excurrent nostrils. So they have like 4 holes, if you like. 2 small holes to sort of draw the water in, and 2 longer extended holes to push the water out. And this is because they really rely on chemical signals in the water and odours. So they are very good predators. They're nothing to fear if you're a human, but they are very good ambush predators. So because of their sort of snake-like body, if you like, they are able to slide and weave their way through the reef. And when they do find their prey, they do wrap their bodies around it, almost like an anaconda, if you like, and crush it. So it's not such a nice way, but they crush it until it's small enough to eat, or small enough at least to tear to pieces. But the most interesting and fascinating thing with these animals is that there's a lot of evidence now showing their partnership, if you like, with other species of fish. So moray eels seem to buddy up especially with groupers. Groupers are the #1. And the two of them together hunt. And it's fascinating. They won't harm each other or eat each other. They actually travel the reefs together hunting. And they use their different capabilities in order to snare their prey and share it. It's just amazing. And there is a lot of body language that they both show one another, which says, hey, you want to hunt? So, you know, I'm not a threat. I'm not here to bother you. Let's go hunting. No idea what that body language is, so I'm not going to do it. But they're able to signal that to each other, and the two of them go hunting together. So you imagine a big coral bombing. It has lots of exits, lots of holes. So the Moray will slide along and corner a fish into one of those holes. But remember, there's lots of exits. So what the grouper will do will come from the other side and block the exit. The fish has nowhere to go, and between the two of them, they get their meal. It's incredible. And it's called nuclear hunting. And there's now evidence that shows many fish of different species hunting together with a Moray, not just groupers. So there can be 4 or 5 of them all in it together. Awesome, if you ask me.
That is great. So Lauren, I do stand corrected, sorry, that wasn't a white-spotted Moray eel. It didn't have the appendages on its head, so I believe that that was a golden tail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
It really is, you know, quite in the coral here. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get another look for you. Emil, can you see it?
That's alright, I did get a look at the head, and it's definitely not the white spotted, but we do have a peacock flounder here.
Oh, juvenile one, oh my goodness. I did not see that. Yes, that is a very, very small peacock flounder. Oh wow, and it's just camouflaged itself into that sort of sandy bottom. Great spotted, and that was by Emil. I definitely didn't see that one.
It's quite a curious little creature, and the thing that's really fascinating about these fish is that they start out looking like normal fish, and then as they metamorphosize and grow, the eye will migrate around the body, and they will turn into what we are looking at right now.
Yeah, they take on quite a... Oh yep, I've got the little Moray. What a cutie. Yeah, the flounder does take on quite a dramatic change in its life. And not only the body shape changes like Pat mentioned, but the eye actually takes on a migration to the other side of the face. And it can be different eyes in different species, and it just moves from one side to the other. So both their eyes are on the same side of their head.
It is truly fascinating. And so we have a question here from Michelle asking, what do Moray eels eat?
Oh, they eat a huge variety of things, but they do mainly go for fish. So different species of fish, particularly the bigger ones. Sorry, I'm just adjusting some things here. Pat, are you able to take over?
Yeah, of course. So that Moray eel that we were looking at, so I did say it was the golden tail, and that is the dark variation. So usually they are very golden and have a golden spot or sometimes a leopard stripe pattern, but this one was a variation with white spots. So that's why the identification was a little bit difficult, but we got there in the end.
Sorry, I'm back again. I apologise about that. So what was the confirmed identification for it?
It was the dark variation of the golden tail Moray eel.
Oh, that is fantastic. So throughout the 2 dives today, we've had quite a range of new species, and there is one little thing I am looking for that we know is somewhere around here, and that will be a new thing that we haven't seen as well. So I will try my best to find it. So just to give you an air update, I'm on 80 bar. 80 bars, so we still have some time left, and we have came a lot shallower. The girls are just behind me, also looking for other things.
And we have Elisa's parents watching along, so it's great to see that you could join us and that you figured out how to write on Twitter to say hello. So big shout out to you guys. Thanks for supporting us.
Yes, and a big shout out to Elise for actually joining us and helping us on this great day. It's so lovely to have other divers with me on Paddy's Women's Dive Day.
Yeah, I mean, and this morning was great when we had 4. We just never run out of things to look at. There was always something being spotted. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I can't take credit for most of the spots I do. Unfortunately, it normally is Emil or the others. So there is a little hamlet ahead. I do think it's the Butter Hamlet.
Yes, it is a butter hamlet.
It's beautiful. I love that name, Butter Hamlet.
They do
This
look...
one's quite small. What I've noticed about this reef, and Lauren did mention, is it seems to be full of juveniles. A lot of juvenile versions of fish are here. It must be quite a safe, protected area. And this Butter Hamlet definitely isn't full size. It's probably an adolescent. And we do see hamlets a lot. You probably know that we all love them. We're a little bit crazy about these fish. They are just so unusual. They have great colourful markings, some really intricate and interesting markings on their body, and of course that unique fact that they're hermaphrodites. They actually contain both female and male reproductive organs, which is just so unusual for us to get our head around. And when 2 hamlets meet, the dominant one will take on the role of female, so it will automatically show that it's going to be the female, and the other one will then just choose to be male, and then they will mate using these respective reproductive organs.
It is a very interesting mode of living. And, I mean, there's so many types of hermaphrodites under the water as well. It's quite mind-blowing to think that, you know, the underwater world is definitely not restricted to just males and females.
No, it's not, and it is obviously the survival of the fittest as well in the underwater realm. So all the fish and other animals that we see, of course, are in competition, and it is the best mode that they can have in order to survive and thrive, which is why we have such a huge array of weird and wonderful bits of information.
So Hank wants to know, what phylum are hamlets in?
What phylum?
Yeah.
Chordata?
Yes. Yeah. So they do have a backbone. So yes. All vertebrates are in the phylum Chordata.
Sorry, that one threw me. Yes, fish are vertebrates. They do have a backbone, like Pat said, so they're in the phylum Chordata.
And it's great to see proud Cat Mama's niece Michelle watching along on her first ever dive live. She's saying that she absolutely loves it, so we're glad that we can make your day there.
Yes, glad to hear that we can make you happy. I am actually on the lookout for something called a fingerprint xyphoma, which we've never shown before. I've actually never encountered one on a live dive, so that is what I'm currently looking for. So if we do find it, I'll point it out. But we have just sort of approached a really productive, active part of the reef. All of a sudden there just seems to be a lot of life, so let's take a closer look and see what's going on.
Yeah, sure. And while we're looking, are you happy to take one last Moray question? We do have quite a few.
I love the Moray questions.
Sure. So Take Care wants to know, why do they hang out in caves and holes, and do we ever see them swimming about freely?
Yes, you do. Safety, of course. A lot of animals, especially sharks, love to snack on a moray. Really, really love it. So they do have this sort of protective covering when they're in the holes and crevices. So they do free swim, and it's a glorious, wonderful thing to free swim when you see the Moray going across the reef. So they will come out their hole, and obviously they have to be really cautious about when they do this. They can actually... Oh, here's a little species of goatfish I don't think we pointed out before. You see that one, Emil? It's definitely a goatfish, but it's got sort of brown spots on its body.
Yeah, this definitely isn't the yellow's goatfish. I'll get up the ID guide.
Yeah, hopefully this will be a new one. But we always have to be careful because the fish do take on different colour forms, but I have a funny feeling we've never seen this one before.
So, let me just find it, and
I'll just wrap up what I was saying about Morays. Yes, they do come out their holes, but they have to be very cautious about when they do it, and they do almost slither across the reef, over the coral, and they can find a new home. But with Moray eels, they do tend to go back to their same little hidey hole on a regular, if not daily basis. They're also covered in mucus, which actually helps them sort of slide across the reefs and glide in and out of the holes, and it protects them. And most Moray's mucus contain toxins, so it actually protects them in many different ways from the predators.
So, Lauren, we can add another species to our ever-growing species list. This is a spotted goatfish.
Oh, yes. Okay, we definitely haven't mentioned that one. We do talk about goatfish a lot, but normally it is the yellow goatfish.
Yes.
Perfect. We're on fire today with the new species.
We are. We just thought we were starting to hit a bit of a plateau, but we've really smashed through that today.
Yeah. And I am still looking for this fingerprint cyphoma for you. So we have came a little bit shallower, and we're now on what we sort of loosely term the hard pan. So you can see it does maybe look a little bit barren, a little bit empty. You can see the sort of sandy bottom. Everything's kind of sparsely growing. This is what we call the hard pan. And this is where you can find a lot of life, a lot of unusual life, and especially juveniles. So we're going to just have a look around this area and see what we can see.
Should we squeeze in one more Moray question?
Absolutely, of course.
So Margie wants to know, how do Morays give birth? And this is a really interesting one.
How do Morays, what, sorry?
Give birth.
Oh, yes, it's very interesting. I did touch on it on a previous dive, but they actually have a huge range of reproductive strategies within the group Muranidae, which is the group of Moray eels. So some of them can be gonochoristic, which is actually what the green Moray is. Sorry, I believe Emil's found something, I'm just not sure what it is. Oh! Yeah, it's a cowfish. So yeah, they can be gonochoristic, which means you'll have the male and you'll have the female, and they will have separate normal reproductive organs. The male will have male and the female will have female. And then you have the hermaphrodites, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So you do have polyandrous, which means they start off as boys and they will change into girls. And then you have protoandrous and protogynous, which is the opposite, where they start off as female and the male gonads will eventually develop within the ovaries and they change into boys. And then you have a similar situation to the hamlets, where they have both. So they are called simultaneous hermaphrodites, which means they contain both gonads. So it will be a similar situation when it comes to mating. One will resume one role and therefore the other will take on the other role. So within the Moray eel family, throughout all the species that there actually is 4 different types of reproductive strategies. So it's incredible to think about, but if they are just gonochoristic, which is just male and female, there will be a spawning site. And this is said to be a little bit further out at sea and a little bit deeper, where the female will lay her eggs, and there will be a scent around that eggs. The male will come along and externally fertilise them. So I hope that answers your question, but Moray eels are quite confusing.
Very much so. And while you were giving us that awesome answer, we did see the cowfish really turning on and off its bright blue coloration.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was awesome. So it's still kind of showing it a little bit, but it's mostly turned off now, but it went very vibrant blue for a while there.
So this isn't really a changing colour as such, it is just lightening and darkening sort of the specialised cells that they have, and it will be some sort of communication. It could be because we are around, it's maybe feeling threatened. We're not that close, I can assure you. Or it's maybe just signalling that it's looking for food. We're not sure, but most animals do change their colours as some form of visual communication.
And can we get another air check from you, please, Lauren?
Of course.
Thank you.
I am at 60 bar, so I'm just going to stay with you guys for a little bit longer, and then it will be time to wrap up the dive. So I'm going to grab my girlies and just get an air check from them. So we have Elise here. I'm asking her for her air. So she's telling us that she is on 100 bars, that's half a tank. So she's doing a lot better than I am. And we've just got Lauren over here. And we'll get an air check from her as well. So I did mention that talking obviously makes me go through my air.
But it is very great talking, and Jacqueline is just saying that there's no way that she could get all the information correct that you've been giving us, Lauren, so kudos to you.
Sometimes I think I talk too much, but Lauren also has 100 bars, so it will be me that wraps up the dive first. But we're all just on the hard pan, really shallow, in different body pairs, just looking for interesting things to find. It's been such an interesting dive, and the highlight for me was the pillar coral. That was just so beautiful, and I really have not seen that yet. So Lauren is pointing something out, so let's check it out before we wrap up the dive.
Yeah, so it looks like she's rubbing her hands together. I'm not sure what...
I'm not really sure what that actually means. Some diving instructors have different sign language, so she's definitely found something.
Oh, soapfish. Ah, yes, washing her hands with soap.
She's laughing at me. So she was obviously washing her hands, implying soap. So we have seen this one before. It is the great soapfish, but it is such an unusual looking guy. We can definitely take a look at it.
Yeah, they are very odd looking, and they do get the name soapfish because they do give off quite a soapy discharge if you were to run your hand along it. And I believe this is also quite toxic.
It is. It's toxic, which is... Oh my goodness, Emil, look at that in the hole of the Gorgonian. Oh wow, can you see that, Pat?
I'm looking.
It's very camouflaged. It's a tiny little filefish, I think.
Oh yes, I can see that. How cute! Oh wow.
That is tiny. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take the credit for that one, everyone. I accidentally found that. Are we able to get an ID?
Yeah, I'm just getting it out now. So could this be the one from the start of the dive that we were looking after?
No, this one's different.
Is it?
It's a completely different looking one, so this could just be a juvenile. So I'm really not sure, but wow, it's really camouflaged against that Gorgonian there. I'm quite proud of myself for finding that one.
Yeah, well done. So, oh, it is a tricky one to identify. We can see it's covered in these little spines all over its body. Let me...
Well, it's okay if you can't identify it now, Pat. We can definitely take a closer look later. And if any of you watching have any idea what species it is, you can always let us know.
So it does look to me like it's the pygmy filefish, but I'm not 100% certain on that. We will take a double check, but yeah, I would say if I had to make a guess that it is the pygmy filefish.
Well, on that note, I got my girlies and we have to wrap up the dive. So, we're going to say bye for now and thank you everyone. Thank you Lauren, thank you Elise, thank you Emile, and thank you Pat. It's been an incredible dive, 2 dives actually, and an excellent way to celebrate Paddy's Women's Dive Day, having women dive underwater. So thank you so much, and we will be back tomorrow, and of course Pat will be diving tomorrow. So please join us again tomorrow at 7 AM. But bye for now and thank you.
Thank you girls, what an amazing dive, what an amazing day. Thank you all.